Hi, Tootsie Carlson here. I've certainly discussed Star Wars more than a few times on my channel, and I've actually decided I'm going to try to go back and get all of the movies on 4K and review them on my channel, sharing my thoughts. So, during the Black Friday sales and everything, I thought I'd hunt on Amazon and see if I could find the movies. There weren't any great deals, but I did decide to pull the trigger anyhow. So, we're going to start at the very beginning, where it all began back in 1977 with the 4K Ultra High Def release of Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the original 1977 movie. I'm going to unbox this 4K release and share my opinions. Close-up of our principal characters there. I would have preferred the original movie poster art, but that's not half bad looking. There's the spine with the title of the film, back cover with some imagery from the film. Inside the package, we do get a digital code of the film. We get 3 discs in here. We have a Blu-ray disc of the film. We have our 4K Ultra High Def release of the film. Got a nice shot of Obi-Wan and Vader's lightsaber duel. The Blu-ray disc of the movie has Leia with R2. And then we get a bonus disc as well with some legacy content that's got some behind-the-scenes shots. You can see Anthony Daniels without his C-3PO helmet on, and even George Lucas there. Now, one thing I'm not crazy about is there are 3 discs here, and they are stacked. But a minor complaint, I didn't have any issues with the discs themselves. Luke Skywalker begins a journey that will change the galaxy. Young farm boy Luke Skywalker is thrust into a galaxy of adventure when he intercepts a distress call from the captive Princess Leia. The event launches him on a daring mission to rescue her from the clutches of Darth Vader and the evil Empire. Join their mission in breathtaking 4K Ultra High Def. So what can somebody say about the original 1977 Star Wars that hasn't already been said? Of course, a young George Lucas who was just starting his career wanted nothing more than to purchase the film rights to Flash Gordon and make a version of that classic serial. When he was unable to secure the rights to Flash Gordon, he decided to write his own space opera, and the rest is history. Star Wars, or as it's called retroactively in reissues, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, certainly changed the world of movie making forever. With amazing special effects techniques, a combination of fantasy and sci-fi elements, some great performances from a pretty diverse cast of young and old alike, and a little bit of everything in between. Of course, this movie is where Luke, Han, and Leia meet for the first time in combat against the Galactic Empire, which rules the galaxy with an iron fist following the fall of the Jedi Knights and a lack of anyone to, of course, stand up to the Empire. Luke, of course, wants nothing more than to get away from being a moisture farmer on the desert planet of Tatooine, but when he intercepts the transmission from Princess Leia, who wants to get Obi-Wan Kenobi, the exiled Jedi, back into battle against the Empire, their paths cross, and when they meet Han Solo, they find themselves aboard the Death Star where Leia is being held prisoner, and from then on, the action comes and never lets up. It's a fantastic film with a great cast. Again, a lot of people that were just starting their careers, like Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. Fisher being the daughter of legendary actress Debbie Reynolds. And then you have some veteran actors in here as well, including Alec Guinness portraying Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Peter Cushing portraying Grand Moff Tarkin, the main Imperial villain that we see in the film. And then a lot of great supporting casts as well, including the droid, C-3PO being played by actor Anthony Daniels. George Lucas has a pretty innovative technique here where he shows the story largely from the perspective of the droids, the 2 most lowly characters, a technique that he borrowed from Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress. And the special effects for their time were certainly revolutionary. George Lucas even had to start his own special effects company, ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, which is still in business today and is probably the biggest and best business of its kind. George Lucas was a man of vision, and it certainly shows in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. There's a lot of great classic film moments here. There are a few minor issues with the film, mainly the fact that while George Lucas is a great producer and idea guy, he's not a great director or screenwriter, and we do have a few moments with some pretty clunky dialogue that just sort of feels out of place in the grand scheme of things. Great screenplays for this series didn't really come into play until Lawrence Kasdan came into the mix, starting with the next film, The Empire Strikes Back. But overall, any shortcomings are ultimately minor. I'll never get tired of a movie like the original Star Wars, and they even have, a musical score by the great John Williams. John Williams even told George Lucas that the music needs to convey emotion. It shouldn't be, something that's just futuristic and just fits the scene and nothing more. The use of leitmotifs throughout the series became something of a running hallmark. And if not for Williams' score, there's no way this film would have been half as memorable as it was. I love this film, and I always love coming back to it. So how does Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope look in 4K Ultra High Def? As much as it pains me to say this, I'm not overly impressed with this transfer. It's very clearly been processed and scrubbed and cleaned up a little too much. There aren't a whole lot of scenes that really have the level of detail and bright, vibrant colors that I'd like to see. Although some scenes certainly do get a little extra push, and it is an upgrade from all prior releases of the film. Just a brief heads up, though, that this is not the original 1977 theatrical cut of the movie. All of the little tweaks and changes that George Lucas has made over the years, those are all here, and with each subsequent home video release, there seem to be a few more changes, starting with the 1997 special editions, then the 2004 DVDs, the 2011 Blu-rays, and now you have the 2020 4K Ultra High Def releases. So just giving that as a heads up, you don't get the original theatrical cut in here. Those have never been officially released on any modern format, although there were some pretty primitive looking non-anamorphic DVD versions that were in some of the individual DVDs that were sold around 2006 or so. Luckily, we do get a bonus disc that's just packed with features, mostly archival stuff. We do get a few new featurettes, including a look at some Star Wars archives and an interview with Joe Johnston, who worked on the film. Johnston, of course, would go on to become a very successful director in his own right, directing movies like Jumanji, Jurassic Park 3, October Sky, and Captain America: The First Avenger. We have a ton of archival stuff, including old trailers, featurettes, interviews. We even get some of the, in pretty rough shape, deleted scenes from the film, including the classic Tosh Station featurette that had Luke and his friend Biggs talking on Tatooine before Luke was ultimately introduced in the final film. This sequence, of course, did slow down the film a bit, and George Lucas apparently didn't want it to feel like American Graffiti in space, so it was probably rightfully cut from the final movie. But again, just having all this archival stuff here is great. If you have Disney Plus, all the Star Wars movies are available for viewing on there. I don't know that there's really any reason to purchase the physical disc other than just, instead of just watching the movies on Disney Plus. I figure the picture quality is probably pretty similar. The 4K only has HDR, it does not have Dolby Vision, but the version on Disney Plus does have Dolby Vision. I watched a few clips from both versions, and I couldn't discern any major differences in film quality. The movie really does need a restoration, something that looks a little more natural and filmic, but I do think fans of the series who want to own the movie on a 4K Ultra High Def physical format will want to pick this up, and the bonus features, there are tons of them on that bonus disc, are certainly worth watching. How about you? Are you a fan of the Star Wars saga? Where would you rank the original film, Episode 4, A New Hope? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.